Hello everybody, it's Red Panda Gamer here for another exciting episode of Play or Pass, a review show where I play a bit of a game and tell you what I think of it. Today is a very special day. It's my birthday. Today, that is, not whenever you're watching this. But it's also going to be a Sega double-header re-release special. Now, I know that's a bit of a mouthful. I'm going to be posting two videos in one day, one after the other, pretty close to. There were two new games that were re-released on the Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and eventually going to be released on PC, kind of continuing this long-lasting tradition of re-released Sega games that they've been doing. I mean, the most recent one was Nights into Dreams and the Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, but those were in HD. This isn't necessarily in HD, but it is actually... I mean, it's not HD, but it looks really good. The first one we're doing is not probably the one you'll be more interested in, but I figured I might as well cover a little bit of it for those of you who are. This game is Virtua Fighter 2. Came out on the Sega Saturn. In fact, it was the best-selling Sega Saturn game, which is pretty cool. So we have, how many of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think this is 12 characters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, no, 10 characters. I'm going to play as Akira because he's the Ryu of this game, basically. And as you can see, it is a fighting game. Now, although now this looks kind of terrible, actually, I still think now it looks kind of good. It hasn't aged well when you compare it to games like, I don't know. You can take a game like UFC 2012 and be like, okay, that game looks amazing, this game looks like crap, everything's polygonal. But when you compare it to anything else that came out in like 1994, this looks really, really good. And I actually like the style of graphics a lot. And the Virtual Fighter series is still around. Pretty sure the only one that's come out recently was Virtua Fighter 5. That was like 6 years ago, on arcades at least. No, actually, I think it was longer ago on arcades. So yeah, so this is, oh god, okay, alright, you're gonna step on me there. So I'm terrible at this game. I'm not really good at fighters in general. I've never been good at fighting games. So I apologize, I won't really be giving you the best, there we go. So yeah, there's a ring out functionality in this game, which I think is awesome. But yeah, see, the graphics looks pretty cool. I mean, the polygons are a little weird, but at the same time, it looks good. Better than anything else, like I said. Way better than Virtua Fighter, the first one. Definitely some big graphical improvements there. Get some reoccurring characters from the first Virtua Fighter, plus some new ones. Not really anything special for this being the re-release. I mean, the coolest thing, in my opinion, about this re-release is, A, there is online mode, which I will go into later. There's three things that really make this worth it, in my opinion. One is the online mode. The fact that you can play this on Xbox Live against anyone, which I think is really, really cool. I always hate when they come out with ports and they don't add online co-op. I think that I feel like at some point it turns into a what's the point kind of deal with, it's like, well, if you're going to re-release these games on new consoles, why not add some of the benefits of them being on a new console, i.e. being able to go play online with people, fighting games online. Oh my god, I cannot believe I just lost in the second round. Fighting games online is, one of the most popular things. You got MLG nowadays, and it's kind of cool to just see how these stack up and how people are, like, because, back in the day, all you had was just you and your buddies playing against each other on one screen and one, which, I mean, I'm not saying, oh my god, I'm doing terrible. I played as two other characters while I was practicing for this. But, the thing is, that is one problem I do have with this game, but I'll get to that in a minute. Let me finish my compliments of this game. And there's going to be some things you hear similar to this and the other game that I'm going to be posting a review of today. Oh my god, I'm doing terrible. But, the online co-op mode is super awesome. The fact that they include that on an older game is really cool. If only Nintendo would have done the same thing like with their Virtual Console, but then again, those are just pretty much straight ports. These are kind of like redesigned and recreated, which is cool in its own right. The second thing that makes this really cool is the fact that it's got the 2.1 mode of this game that only came out in Japan, where they fixed a couple issues of the game. I was reading up on it a bit. Nothing really too specific, just some extra bugs that they fixed up. And that's never been available in America, only in Japan, so that's kind of cool. I think that's awesome. I have to say, like, Sega's been doing such a great job with all their ports. Because I know some people... Well, I mean, they've been doing this for a while. They've been doing ports of their games since, like, the beginning of the Xbox with Xbox 360 with games like with like Crazy Taxi and Sonic Adventure 1, and there was another one that I can't remember what it's called. But you know, this is a constant thing, and I just feel like their ports are only getting better. And I really think that online functionality is like the #1 reason why anyone should buy this. The third reason for this one, and the next one I'm going to be talking about, which is Sonic the Fighters, is the fact that it is only $5. Now, that's not like a special sale price or anything like that. It's just $5. Which, I mean, that, granted, I totally agree that that's what it should be worth, but Microsoft isn't really known to be a company that gives you things that should be, like, they're not known for charging the amount they should for things. And I don't know how much of a say Sega had in this. Now, you can also make the argument that, well, of course it's not actually worth that much money because, well, it's, you know, a fighting game and it's from the Sega Saturn, so why would they mark it up? But you never know, and just the fact that they didn't alone is, I think, an awesome thing. So $5 for both of these games. And the other thing I'm surprised they didn't do, and I mean, maybe that's kind of a crazy thing to think, and maybe I'm dumb for even bringing it up, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't just package these together for $10 rather than giving people the option to get both or one of the games for $5 each. Now, I think that's so cool because I don't really imagine many people will be getting this game. I mean, I don't know. I didn't grow up with Sega anything, or I never really played Virtua Fighter. I played it a few times like on arcade machines, but that was it. Okay, we're getting into some pretty intense kick action here. He's going to have to stop eventually. Oh, damn it. But I think it's really cool. The price is great. And I don't really know how many of you are actually going to be interested in this game, or how many of you are going to go out and get it and be like, oh, finally, they re-released Virtua Fighter 2. But I don't know, you know, I mean, I'm just posting these videos to post my thoughts on them. Everything I say about the game is my own personal thought. But as far as, if you're a fan of Virtua Fighter 2 and you're not sure if you really even want to bother getting this because you're worried it might be a port, it's a good port. Ah ha ha! And we could do my favorite thing to do in Soul Calibur and also step out of the ring. But we win! Get a sweet camera angle there too. That was awesome. Like, kicked the camera away. Now, when I was practicing this earlier, I kept getting my ass handed to me by this chick. I'm so bad at this game, it's disgusting. It's not that it's a bad game. But now, you know, I'll go into my actual critiques of this game, and, you know, it's kind of funny because we're getting into now critiques of already, 1994? So, an almost 20-year-old game we're going to be critiquing now. Okay, so graphically, I like it. I think it looks really, really great. I think it's aged really well, to be honest. And this is going to sound silly, but especially if you're playing, like, from far away, it looks really good. So, graphically, I think it's great. The music, I actually really like a lot. Background designs are nice. There's a lot of detail in them, and I feel like that's something that's underutilized in a lot of games in general, but specifically older fighting games. Well, now that I say that, though, most fighting games do a great job with their backgrounds, but I mean, in this early age of 3D, it was pretty easy for people to get lazy with backgrounds. I guess that's all I really mean. But yeah, so then graphically and everything else, like the presentation of this game I actually like a lot. As far as the gameplay goes, I'm not too crazy about it. Once again, I'm terrible at fighting games. As you can see, this jump is insane. And actually, the other character I was playing with, I can't remember his name, but he's a ninja. A generic ninja. He jumped way higher. And it's really, really floaty. And the difficulty on these enemies, and I know I'm bad, but at the same time, it's unbelievably unruly. I mean, you really gotta, like, be cheap about it. I mean, when I beat this last time, I just kept using, like, the same attack move every single time, and just, like, kind of backed off, and then hit him. And then backed off, and then hit him. Or then, like, tried to get cheap ring outs. But I don't know why. Maybe I really am just that bad. But see, the AI will block and duck for days. For days. And it just makes it really fucking difficult. I mean, you have the ability to block too, but it's like, what do you want to do? Just hold the block button all day? Is that what you want to do? Then they can do shit like that, so. And, like, once again, I'm terrible at this game. So you may have a completely different experience, but I personally think the difficulty is way too high. I'm actually going to go ahead and quit now, you get the idea. Another thing I was worried about is achievements, and now there are actually achievements for this game. I've already gotten a few, which, oh wow, they're all worth 20. Holy crap. These are worth a lot. But there are, oh whoa. Down, down, up, up, left, left, right, right. What? That's kind of weird. Use dual in arcade mode or offline mode. That's kind of weird that they have, there's like It's a cheat. They're telling you how to unlock an expert mode, and then they're giving you an achievement. That's really weird. So yeah, there's achievements, which I was a little worried there wouldn't be any because it's such a cheap game. But there's different difficulty modes. I probably should have just played in easy. There's easy, normal, hard, and hardest, which I'm definitely not going to be able to play in. Change the round amount. You can change the time limit. You can change the health, so you can play with a lot of health or not a lot of health. And then, as I said, there are different versions of the game. 2.1, which only came out in Japan, which fixes some bugs. Okay, now we're going to get into my next issue that I have with this. Oh, another thing I don't like about this game is I feel like every single fighter fights the exact same way. I don't really feel like there's that many differences, and that's a huge pet peeve for me in almost any fighting game. I cannot stand when your characters all feel similar. So we have offline versus mode, which really is just 1 versus 2, or like on the same TV. But this is my biggest glaring issue with this game. And I know it's going to sound nitpicky, but for me it's actually a really big deal. And this is the same issue I have with Sonic the Fighters, which I'll probably be repeating when I play Sonic the Fighters. These games don't have a practice mode. I know it sounds like a simple problem, but it really, really irks me because the only way you can get better at the game is by just playing the arcade mode or playing against friends or playing against people online. The problem with that is the nice thing about practicing is you just get a dummy character that just stands there and takes all the hits. But you really don't get that out of anything else, and you kind of have to pay attention to how you're playing. Now, I know hypothetically you can plug in another controller and you can do offline versus mode and just play with another person. But even still, you're still going to be killing them or knocking them out of the ring, or they're not going to be where you want them to be. Like, I don't know how much trouble it is to create a practice mode, like to create a bot that dies when you hit them, or that makes a bot so they don't die when you hit them and you can just keep practicing them. I don't know how much difficulty that is, and I don't know if that was unheard of back then, but it really, really hurts this game and makes it really difficult to get good at, and I'll show you right now how bad I am. There is an Xbox Live mode, which I love. I think that's like the most important thing you can do in your game. And I already did one, and I got my ass handed to me terribly. And you'll see why, maybe, depending on who we get matched up against. The matchmaking is actually pretty quick. It uses, like, the thing about this game and Sonic the Fighters is it's almost exactly the same as far as, like, the system looks and all that. And Sonic the Fighters, it only took me, like, 2 minutes, not even 2 minutes, like, maybe 30 seconds to find a match. This game, it took me a little bit longer, but that was only for one. It took me almost, like, 2 whole minutes. I say 2 whole minutes, but in reality, I mean, how many people are really playing this? It did just come out, so it's understandable. So this is taking a lot longer than I wanted it to. Oh my god. And that's the other thing is they're ranked matches, but they don't adjust you based on your rankings. Like, I had done 0 fights, right? 0 wins, 0 losses, which I guess makes me not bad, but I ended up fighting someone who had already done, I think it was 400 matches. 400 matches, 250 of which he had won. Actually, more than that. Which I don't even understand. Like, this game's only been out for a couple days. I don't know how you could play this game that many times. But like I said, some people love Virtua Fighter. And I know that, but I've never really been into it. I've always been more of a Street Fighter person myself, but I'm terrible at that game too. The only fighting game I'm good at is Super Smash Brothers. And we're still waiting for that new Super Smash Brothers. So, yeah. Alright, so this is taking forever. If we don't get a match, that's, I guess, unfortunate, but like I said, I'm assuming it's because this game's only been out for a little while. It's only got like 200 ratings on Xbox Live Arcade, which normally you can multiply that by like 10. So, I mean, you got to think about how many people are actually playing this game right now. Plus, it's 1 in the morning, so we're not getting... And actually, this game hasn't come out in Europe yet, I don't believe. So, Europeans would be... No, they'd be asleep right now. I don't know. I don't remember how the times work. Alright, so this is taking forever. I tried doing an unranked match, and it didn't work, like a player match. But I couldn't find any sessions. So, you don't have that many. There's leaderboards, which... Let's see, actually, there's only 757 people who have the game right now. Actually, that might just be 757 people who... Yeah, total players, 757, wow. And I don't know, that maybe that's just people who... Well, no, if you have this game, you have to have Xbox Live. See, there's someone who's already played the 1,500 matches. Actually, no, that's how many points they've gotten. You get 4 points for winning a match, so that's like... My God, I'm terrible at math. That's well over 600. No, not over 600. Well over 300? Yeah, it's over 300 matches, which is insane to me. I guess I can go ahead and just play one more match real quick. Let's see. I was playing as the ninja guy a lot. Oh, I guess I'm playing as him again. I don't care. I think the ninja looks cool, and also because of his color scheme and the fact that you can't actually see any of his face, makes his graphics look much better because you can't see like his polygonal finger or his face. Look, you can't really see his face, so it looks a little better. I actually was doing pretty well at the ninja, and what the. Okay, whoa, okay. See, that's another thing about fighting games like this. I always find myself doing crazy things and be like, okay, how do I do that? And, you know, they have right here a command list that shows you how to do all these different moves. Punch, deflect, kick. But I never really can tell if I'm pulling them off or not. Because there's really... Oh, whoa. See, like there, right there. I don't even know how I did that. And I can't even do it again now. There we go. That is the goofiest move. I can't even get it when I'm actually trying to hit him with it, but I can do it while he's on the ground. That's just absurd. But see, I have a lot of trouble figuring out if I'm actually doing these moves right or not. And that's why it's good to have a practice mode, because then you know, like, okay, that's that move. So I know from now on that if I do it, that's what it's going to look like. That was sweet. And then also you get into this situation where you're trying to play the normal game, and you just keep having to go back to the menu, like, okay, how do I do the Rakujin Garl? Or Garl? Or how do you say that? Because you can't even tell, right? Like, that doesn't look anything like a special punch, does it? I don't know. I have no idea. It's very hard to tell what's a special move in this game and what's not. Like, because in Street Fighter, it's obvious. In Street Fighter, the characters make a crazy-ass noise, like Hadouken! Stuff like that. So you know when you're doing a cool move, but in this game, it's really hard to tell when you're actually succeeding with a super awesome move. Except for that awkward-ass kick. But yeah, so I say if you're if you're a fan of Virtua Fighter, I say get this game. It's awesome. They've added a lot of cool stuff to it. The fact that it's got Xbox Live capabilities that you can play with anyone online is awesome. The fact that it's only $5 is even more awesome. If you're not a fan, oh, that was a cool move. If you're not a fan, I really don't see a reason to get this game. You're not really, and I feel bad saying this, but I have no nostalgia towards this game whatsoever. So I personally don't feel like there's enough here as far as a game. I don't feel like there's enough here to warrant the $5 because there's so many other games out there that are $5 that are way better, and there's so many other fighting games that are so much better. Like there's really no reason to get this one. This one hasn't aged that well, and I wouldn't play this over like Marvel vs. Capcom, even the first Marvel vs. Capcom, to be honest. Except I love that game. The first Marvel vs. Capcom they made. All the Marvel vs. Capcom games are awesome. Even though people who are really good at them are unbelievably good at them. So I say if you're a fan of Virtua Fighter 2, pick it up. If you've never played Virtua Fighter before in your life and you don't really care, you can totally pass it up. I like it. I'll probably play it some more, but not much more. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it. I just don't think it's that good. So sorry, Sega fanboys, but join me for the next review, where we will be playing Sonic the Fighters. It should be somewhere on the screen, annotated. Another awesome fighting game from Sega that also just got re-released for $5. So I'll see you guys in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye.